Hello and welcome back to Great Reviews. It also I am finally back with Sisters. They have started the episodes back up so far. Two episodes have aired. I'm currently watching the second episode right now. It's on commercial, so I'm just pausing it or I'm muting it until it comes back on. So far, from what I'm gathering, um, let's see if I can recall. Gary has made his way down to the police station to report Penelope missing. I was very aggravated that it took Andi this long to get in contact with her boyfriend or whatever he is to her, Jordan, to let him know, like, hey, something fishy is going on. Have not heard back from her. If you're not hearing back from her, she has still been going around Gary. Something could be wrong. And you could have told him that over the phone. Like, that was a more of an emergency type of situation. I was so irritated that girl kept, like, pity patting around, giving him the information. Oh, well, I'll wait. No, Andi, don't wait. That was something, when you saw blood on the wall and you left, there should have been no overnight waiting for Jordan. You should have said, hey, something's going on. I went to go confront Gary because I'm looking for Penelope. I've not heard from her. As I was leaving, I saw blood on the wall of his office, and he is acting sketchy. He is a sketchy guy. Like, you should have been coming on with it. So, very aggravated. And moving on to also what was given to us in the first episode, which we all knew that with Karen, that both Zach and whatever the other dude's name is, I don't forgot him, Aaron, that he was going to be the other father to the babies that she's carrying. I felt that coming. I'm kind of like, okay, here we go, Tyler. Are you going to drag this out? Like, what are we going to do? So I guess we're bringing Aaron back into the fold, and we're going to be seeing him more. We're going to have to see how that develops and how that's going to go. You know, Fatima is like, baby, we're going to be dealing with the one that's yours. It's not a combo thing. And I think Zach even told Aaron that you father your child. That's going to be extremely tough. And I hate it that Zach ended up being one of the fathers. I really wanted him to be able to completely cut ties with Karen. Um, so right now, second episode, like I said, it is on. I'm watching it. So far, Gary is playing this role. You know, he has connections everywhere. He knows a lot of people, so he's using that to his advantage, and in turn, trying to kind of turn things to where it looks like Andi might have done something, which makes absolutely no sense. But if you kind of come from it from the standpoint of the jealous ex, I guess that he could swing that. But boy, you got a lot of stuff going on. And from what I just saw with Andi, they are still looking into him. So he's not out of the loop. So we're going to see. So just waiting on the rest to come on. I'm going to pause for a second so I can see what's happening. Let's see. Okay. So far, Fatima and Zach, they are still trying to come. Zach is excited. Fatima, not so much. Totally understand. She's very much aggravated by this whole situation because it's like, oh my God. One way you thinking, y'all maybe not, can be done with Karen, but that didn't turn out to be that way. So she's a little bit aggravated. Zach, he is pretty much saying, listen, you ain't got to raise your kids separately, but when it comes to me being into my child's life, I'm only going to be concerned about my particular child, and I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but that's always going to be my focus. Now, Fatima and Karen, they are pretty much on the same page with, as far as like, it's pretty much going to be three. It's going to be the both of them. They're a package deal. But for me, my personal feelings, my thoughts on this, I'm kind of siding with Zach on that, because for one, it's not his fault that the kid, you had twins and that they ended up having two separate dads. I think that it would just take a lot of communication with the kids to help them to understand why their sibling might be going this way while they go over here with this one. You just have to communicate with them. I don't think it's fair to expect Zach to do for the other child. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. If I was Karen, I would want both of the fathers to only be mostly focused on having relationships with their particular kid. Not saying just completely ignore the other one, but I'm just saying when it comes to the financial side of things, y'all individually make sure that y'all do y'all part. Zach wants to go ahead and start looking into to doing a trust fund for his child. You expect him to do it for both. That's not right. You know what I'm saying? He has no paternal rights to the other twin. That's my thoughts on that. I'm totally with Zach on this. I'm just saying that's my feelings. Karen, not Karen, Andi. She's at work. She done talked to Fatima to basically let her know that the feds pretty much pulled her into a room to interview her separately from Gary, and that they are basically building a case on him. So that explains why they have not pulled him in yet. I find it very interesting that they didn't, that he's not already in jail. I guess they didn't have enough on him. I don't know, or they want to make sure that what they're trying to get him for, that they have it, everything on point, because he knows a lot of people and he is a snake. So I guess that's really what it is. So we're gonna have to see. Ooh, Shea Moisture is gonna have like their own deodorant, their own body stuff. Okay, Shea Moisture. Anyway, so that is what's going on with that. So Fatima's pretty much like let her know, like, girl, you need to be careful with this, because if they're telling you this, they're telling you what you want to hear. They might be trying to set you up, because you never know. Who knows who? And then the last thing that they just showed us was what? Oh, Maurice at the bank at his job. Him and that lady, baby. I'd have to let Sabrina know. Listen, I'm trying to do the best I can do to come in, just be myself, be my normal self, and work, do what I'm supposed to do. But you're gonna have to keep that lady away from me, because she is doing her best to try to make me lose my job, and I'm not having it. Get this thing away from me. She is really, really trying it. And then on top of that, to be doing that in front of the customers, very it's just, that's just not what's up. Now, it just came back on. He don't walked in on the office, and Sabrina's in there trying to give herself the injections. Boo! If you're gonna be doing that at work, I'm gonna need you to lock the door. Okay. So I guess Maurice he's putting his gloves on. Looks like he's gonna help her with this part. I don't even want to see that, because I get why Sabrina is doing this. For when she's in the space that she's ready to have a kid, go ahead and freeze your eggs, girl. And then when it's time, you already know you got your baby. You got your embryos or whatever. Am I saying that right? I don't know. But yeah, he done came back into the office. I'm finna go ahead and click back on and listen in on the conversation between him and Sabrina. But yeah, Maurice is gonna have to watch that lady, because he done told her, like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. Like, no ma'am, we not having that. So let's see. 1 second. Okay. So Aaron has showed up at Karen's business, of course. As we know, he's the king of pop-ups with alcohol and no nothing. He just shows up to check on her. We find out that Pam has been in contact with Aaron, and he has actually invested into her business, her hair business, Rags to Riches, whatever it's called. Karen did not know this, and of course she's looking at Pam upside her head, like, excuse me. And then here we go with Aaron again. It's like, Aaron, you caught your hands like as close to Karen as you can get, however it is. That's what you're gonna do, so you can be as close to her as possible. Now, what I didn't like was the fact that when it came to talking to Aaron, pertaining to her babies, you asked him the question of, okay, so, when he said he's excited, about the baby or whatever, and she was like, asked him, like, it's about both babies, right? And he's like, yeah, of course. Of course Aaron's gonna say that. But see, that is where him and Zach is gonna have an issue because Zach is gonna be like, no, I don't want you fooling with my kid. Like you be nice, be cordial, you cordial to my child, but I don't want you feeling like they got two daddies. They do not. Okay. And then so then she gonna say to him, oh, because that he's been calling me, stressing me out, saying about his setting up a trust fund for his child and his half of the belly and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, Karen, see, that's the stuff I don't like because you said that knowing that Aaron, the type of guy that he is, he's gonna go and he's gonna address Zach about what he says and the fact of him calling you and you saying the words, oh, he's stressing me out. It's a lot going on. Everybody has to take time to process what's happening. Um, it's, I'm assuming she's still very early on in the pregnancy so far, but to try to force him to parent to father both of your kids and one of them biologically is not his, I don't think that's fair. That's just my opinion. And I think for Aaron, you have to respect Zach's wishes as well. Y'all have to find some kind of common ground. And with Karen, it's almost like you trying to say it's his way or the highway. But honestly, I think if Zach took her tail to court and said, "Hey, I have these rights to my kid," I don't think she can deny that. But I mean, we'll find out. We will definitely find out. We're gonna see. So we're gonna fast forward so we can move on. So far, Jordan he has tracked, basically followed where Gary and his whatever that man is. He done followed them and came across some girl. He thought it was Penelope, and when he ran up on her, it was not her. So he's gonna trick this girl into trying to get as much information out of her as possible pertaining to Gary and this other dude that Gary works with. So we're gonna see. I feel like Jordan he needs to be careful before he gets himself caught up, you know. So we'll see. Okay, so yikes. Okay, so Aaron meets finds Zach, which is so creepy. Zach is just like, what the heck? Like, are you stalking me? Like, why are you always following me? I don't want to see you like this. And of course, he comes. Karen's spokesperson is stressing her out. You said you only want to do this. I'm gonna step up. I'm ready to step in for these two kids, the twins. And it's just like, first of all, don't even try and see he does that with that little mouth that he is. Don't try to play Zach like he's trying to be a deadbeat because he wants to make sure that he's primarily there for his child. He's not saying separate the twins. He's saying when it comes to my portion of this duo here, I'm going to be there primarily for my. He's like, oh, I'm ready to step in and essentially calling him a deadbeat. And it's like, whoa, he ain't no deadbeat. And then one of the biggest questions that I've been having is with his when we first met Aaron, he was married and he had kids. He had two kids. What happened to those kids? So apparently the two kids, the grandmother has custody of them and so he's like feeling like and I guess they're convinced that he's just not gonna be, good in their life or whatever, so that he has no contact with the kids. But I feel like well, shouldn't that be a part of what your focus is? Because essentially you're basically saying, well, them kids just gonna be over there, but I'm finna try to start over with Karen and her twins. Like, that's not gonna work. And he's like getting all up in Zach's grill about, them needing to work together, and that is perfectly fine. Work together, communicate. It's gonna be a challenge, and they're gonna have to work through some things. Zach is doing the best that he can to try to deal with Aaron, but Aaron got a smart mouth, man. And in the end, Zach ended up just like, dude, I'm gonna go my way. Like, I'm gonna leave here. Do not follow me. I'm about to go. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to work on myself. Leave me alone. Um, Next, we have, what was it? Oh, Karen back at the shop, the boy Troy or whatever his name is, he comes in, and this is after hours, so he's not in his work clothes anymore. Coming in, I feel like it's weird, and I think Karen pretty much said it. Like he's like, I'm not scared of your situation or whatever of your belly, and she's like, yeah, that's kind of what scares me because I'm like full blown pregnant here. I have a lot going on, and you sitting here hitting on me, and you want to ask me out. Absolutely not. I think Karen did the correct thing by going just like this, like, back up. She did the right thing on that and let him down gentle. So we gonna see what happens with that. But boy, get on. Like, do you have some kind of weird fetish or something? Because that's what I think. That's weird. Ugh. Anyway, now who is it? Sabrina and Danny, my favorite too. They are hanging out, and it is taking everything for Danny to not say about Karen having two baby daddies. At this point, all of the girls know, and Karen don't even know that they all know. Because I think if she really think about it, as soon as Danny was there, accidentally came over, at the same time that Karen was having the guys come over to tell them, she got the information. I think Karen, your friend, that essentially she was going to tell everybody. She was going to tell the other ladies. So she did this whole thing of charades where she tried to get Sabrina to guess it versus her just flat out saying it. I thought that was very funny, a very funny scene. We got a lot of humor in this episode, and I'm happy with that. And basically, it just came on right now, and they're sitting there talking about like, oh my gosh, two baby daddies, like what the heck? So yeah, so let's see. And Tony comes in. Tony is probably finna come in and go in on her because he's holding these handcuffs that his daughter done snuck out of that house. You need to get on your daughter. Get on your daughter. So I had to stop real quick. We're going to see how this video works, y'all, with me pausing and watching it just like this. I just wanted to try something different. We'll see how this goes. But Tony comes in. He's mad, going in on Danny for being irresponsible and how his daughter got a hold of those handcuffs. And she basically was like, ask your dad, don't, it's a game that I played with today. You have to ask him about it. So he's basically like, I trusted you with my kids, and you say you're going to do me a favor. Please, do the favor. And then she had to get on like, listen, when I came home, y'all were already here. You asked me for a favor at the very last minute. I did not have time to prepare. When your child came over here, your child was going through all of my things, and she came across that. So it's kind of like a in-between thing, because I felt like when she was distracted, first of all, to when Tony came in, the girl took it and slipped it. How was she supposed to have seen that at that particular moment that she stole it? Because see, the thing is, you do need to get on your child for taking stuff from her place, and you knew that wasn't yours. So she technically stole something. Now, when she said you asked your daddy about it, that didn't mean take my stuff out of my house. That ain't what that meant. So you do need to get on your kid. And the next time you want her to do something as far as watching the kids for you, give her more of a heads up. Or have her come and keep them at your place. You know what I'm saying? But I do get what he's saying. Like, you gonna watch the kids. Like, I take that very serious. It's not a funny situation. In the end, Danny was like, you know what? You can go, because I can see that you are coming over here, you arguing with me. I explained to you what happened. That's not good enough. I don't really know what more I can say or where we can go from here. So I think between them two, I love them together, but the biggest thing between the two of them is going to be the children factor. And I think, Danny, you're going to have to get with the program, because you are with a man that has kids. And so you need to develop, or try, you want to be serious with Tony, you got to get to a point where you can develop some type of relationship with the kids. As far as her going through your things, if you have some stuff in the house that she might not need to come across, maybe next time don't let her go through the things. Maybe he should have brought them some things to entertain themselves while they were waiting on him to finish up with his meeting that he had going on. So it's kind of partially his fault, in my opinion. A splash of the kid's fault for taking something from Danny's house, and you knew you were not supposed to do that. And then when it came on Danny's part, allowing her to roam and go through all of your things, I don't think that that was a good thing either. Or if she wanted to go through your things, maybe you should have took that as a moment to kind of have some girl time with her, as far as like looking at your shoes, your clothes, things like that. I Going in your drawers, probably, I'm assuming that's where the handcuffs were. Probably shouldn't have allowed her to do that. Maybe y'all could have played with the jewelry or played with makeup, something like that. So that's my thoughts real quick on this. Fatima is at home cooking up some dinner with for her and Zach, so we're gonna see what happens with this. And mind you, I have not seen Michael yet, but I see a bunch of kids' toys all around everywhere. I wonder what happened with that. Let's see. Okay, so Gary has spotted that Jordan watching him to that and he got into his car. I don't know why Jordan would be sitting out anywhere with his doors unlocked. Very strange. It looks like Gary is threatening Jordan, basically saying um, if you keep on messing with me, you're gonna end up just like missing just like your sister. So they're pretty much, and then we see a clip where Jordan is um, questioning Andy, like, "Do you know where my sister is?" It's like, baby, hold on, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Um, Anything else important really happened? Zach gets some info from Fatima. She had somebody that she knows to look into his current situation with Gary and his money. So basically, with the contract or whatever he done agreement that he did, Gary can withhold the funds. Um, and just with the language that was being um, used between Zach and Fatima, it looks like he's pretty much like, yeah, I hope you don't have your cousin to look into Gary. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. Are they gonna bring Eva back into the fold to kind of dip in, because Zach um, and Madam have not met in person? That would be something I would love to see. I would love to see that. So we're gonna have to see what happens next episode, next Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Wednesday, I believe. Next Wednesday, we'll see what happens. So if you have watched this whole video, I want to say thank you. Like I said, I was trying something new with how I was watching it and reacting as I'm going versus watching the whole thing and then recapping bits that stuck in my mind, in my memory. So let me know what you think about the first 2 episodes of Tyler Perry. Season 7, I believe, is season 7. So we're going to see how this season goes. And I hope, when it comes to them getting down to the nitty gritty, when it comes to Penelope and when it comes to Gary's case and the feds getting a hold of his tail and getting him in jail, I really hope it does not, he don't drag it out. Okay? All right. So thank you, beautiful people, for watching. You have a beautiful, wonderful day. And I will see you next time with another video. Bye, y'all.